Hey, it's Kat at Kattalestv. I wanted to talk about dating. I've noticed that it's so challenging if you're a relatively decent person to find someone who you feel comfortable with to, get to know. And I don't really date, believe it or not. Lately, I've found it very fascinating that a lot of men have come up to me while I'm, either working out or out and about in LA and, ask me out or show some type of interest. I mean, I know you guys are probably going, what are you talking about? But the thing is, I don't really date. Normally, in the past, if I met someone that I was attracted to, we pretty much got into a relationship. I don't like frivolously, I hate to say wasting my time, but I don't like frivolously wasting my time with bullshit. You know what I mean? I have normally deep conversations and I'm really busy with all the things that I do, but I want an amazing relationship and I'm not willing to settle for some bullshit. And I also find it funny because there's all these people online, male and female and in between, who give out advice about dating. And a lot of guys are growing up with really bad examples of dating, and they play a lot of mental games, and they watch these bros who teach them how to abuse women, and they think that works, and they think being a nice guy, you'll end up finishing last, and it's not necessarily true. When a woman is a woman and is self-aware and has self-respect, she wants a good guy, but also what she wants is a strong man. And I think a lot of people are missing that. Strong men, not only physically but mentally. So if you're not in shape and you want a beautiful woman, I find that very fascinating because you're not even taking care of yourself, but you want a woman to be gorgeous. And I never forget, there was a guy who I had to work around when I was shooting Dancing with Stars a long time ago, and he was such an ass. The funny thing was, I overheard him complaining about a girl or a woman he was dating, and he was saying she was overweight. Knowing this guy, she probably wasn't overweight at all, but meanwhile, this dude was a fat pig. I mean, seriously, physically and mentally. And I just found it hilarious that he was complaining about, a woman being too large for him. But like I said, I just feel like a lot of people in this day and age, and especially if they grew up with a lot of porn, they're not, and they don't have father figures or healthy male role models. And look who's running this country. If that's your ideal of a strong man, you're not the type of person I would ever date. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't fuck around. If I find someone that I really like, I want to get to know them and be with them, and I don't want to look at other people per se, because I'm busy with my own stuff. And if I meet a man that is either on my level or above mentally, I want to focus on that. You know what I'm saying? Because what I think a lot of people are missing is when you have a person that you really care about and they care about you, and you're able to communicate your real feelings and your truths, and they have your back and you have their back, and you realize that this time on earth is temporary, and you want to give the best you can in that relationship, when you have that mindset, you don't fuck around. You know what I mean? And the other funny thing is, I went on a couple of dates recently, and I just was like, you know, I was open-minded, but one guy, and most of these men that I went out with, they don't have access to my YouTube channel. I don't think they're gonna look at it, so I'm not saying any names or anything like that. But you know, we had a great, like, we were hanging out, and I don't want to give out too much, but he saw me doing some of the stuff that I do working out wise. I created my own workout, and a lot of people have been coming up to me and want to know more because they like my workout, and it combines martial arts and dance and a bunch of other stuff, but it's very flow, right? So anyway, we were just hanging out another day, and it was really nice. It was really, like, you know, it was great for a while. It was like there's moments where we're watching stuff, you know, and we were silent, and sometimes we were talking, and then sometimes I was taking a picture of him because the lights were bouncing on his sunglasses, and it just looked really cool. And if you guys don't know, I'm a real photographer, okay? So the shit you see on YouTube isn't what I mean, how do I explain this? I shoot stills, and I also shoot videos, but what you see on YouTube is not necessarily the scope of my work, okay? So when you see these shitty videos that I do sometimes, that's not the work that I get paid for. It's just me fucking around and throwing stuff up on YouTube, but there's also some good videos. So anyways, I digress. So everything was cool. And then, you know, he walked in my car and he grabbed my ass. And I started laughing, not in a bad way, but more of a shy, shocked way. And it made me laugh even more because I'm not used to hearing me laugh in that tone. So I don't know how to explain this, but I'm in a moment, but I'm also an observer sometimes because I'm watching my own reactions to what's happening. And I don't know if he was offended by that. But I'm just not used to guys grabbing me that aren't my boyfriend, my lover. You know what I mean? And it's like on a first or second date, I don't know if that's appropriate. And I'm not the kind of person that normally just loses myself and just does stuff on the first date. That's not my vibe. So, you know, I don't know if he it was used to a woman, like, saying no. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know, like, what, like, you guys out there, you really think that on the first or second date, you want to fuck a chick? I mean, seriously? Especially now, I mean, I live in Los Angeles, right? Well, I'm hearing huge stories about STDs in Atlanta and Houston, especially in the black community. But in LA, one of the funniest things I ever heard, but not in a like totally ha 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 way, but in a serious way, was the two biggest prescriptions in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills in this pharmacy was, I forgot, Xanax for, you know, people with anxiety, and what's the stuff for herpes? I forgot. Whatever the drug is to help people with herpes, this is what the pharmacy that used to handle Michael Jackson told me. The pharmacist, there's a pharmacy, Michael Finney or something in Beverly Hills. I forgot the name, but they told me that, and I was just like, what? But herpes is huge here, you know. Also, you know, I don't sleep around, and to be frank, I've been celibate for a very long time, and I was in a relationship for a little bit a couple of years ago, but before that, I was celibate before that. And a lot of men don't know and don't care, but I don't sleep around. And people make assumptions, all the time, but I'm real serious. Me, love is very, very serious. And not in a bad way, but I don't want to be opening myself emotionally, physically, spiritually to some bullshit. You know what I mean? And we all sometimes make mistakes, and we date people that maybe, it's a learning experience, but it's not going to last forever. But when I'm in it, I give as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good dating or not dating, but dating, the whole thing of a guy takes you out somewhere or doesn't even put any, effort into doing anything, and they expect to fuck you because they're horny. That's not the kind of guy you want to, commit to, because how do you know he's not going to be able to control his urges if he's out and about and he sees somebody else? I don't want a guy like that. And I don't think a man of quality would want a woman that fucks every guy that she's goes on a date with, or takes her out to dinner, or grabs her ass. You have to know what your comfort zone is. But for you people who are watching these videos, I'm sorry, I'm sweating. It's very hot in LA, and I closed the windows because I'm shooting Dancing with the Stars, and I just finished editing some stuff, but I'm waiting for the next batch of people. But long story short, a person of quality wants a person of quality. And they don't want someone they don't want to, they're not capable of trusting. And I'm not a cheater. I don't want a guy that cheats. And I don't want to worry about STDs. And then you have to have a conversation with someone about, if you're going to have intercourse, about being safe. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these rappers out here, even Cardi B, that chick's pregnant with some football player who's fucking all these women. And people are making statements that he's on the DL. I don't know. It's not my business, but you have someone like Cardi B, who allegedly is a multimillionaire, and she's choosing a guy that is notorious for fucking a bunch of chicks and not using condoms. Is that smart? You know what I mean? Is that self-love, self-respect? Everyone has to make their choice, and I'm not trying to judge anybody. I just want you to take care of yourself and be mindful of there's consequences when you have unprotected sex. And you can be tied to someone for your life, having a child with someone that you may not want to have had a child, but for whatever reason, things happen. So, and beyond that, if you get an STD on some rando or someone that you cared about, your life takes a different, trajectory. And that's cool. I'm sure there's lots of people that are happy with herpes and gonorrhea and chlamydia and HIV and stuff. But I don't necessarily want to take that road. You know what I mean? But one thing I want to say, my dream of love, what I really wanted was someone who, together, we manifest glory, our union makes us stronger, not weaker. He's not trying to control me. I'm not trying to control him. It's like a flow. And we really, really want to be together. And we choose to be together. And we can leave any time we want. But we choose to be together, and we choose to be the best people we can with each other. And that light radiates outward because we respect our love, Well, I remember a long time ago I was in love with a guy And I left America. I went to Germany to be with him, which is hilarious because the whole Nazi thing happening here. But side note, what happens sometimes when you really love somebody, you become like a vessel, like a magnet, and you become more intuitive as a person, especially as a woman. I don't know about what happens with men in their mind, but I became more psychic, more aware, more, I don't know what, more, I want to say kind or more giving. It's just a whole bunch of things happen when you're in love and you make a commitment with somebody. So I want the best for you, whoever's watching this video. But love yourself enough to be very aware of some of the choices that you're making. And just because some rapper or some influencer is running around having, a bunch of babies or not having protected sex and bragging about gonorrhea like Sexy Red had that lipstick and all that crap, you don't have to do that. I just feel like there's not enough positive influencers speaking to you with reverence and wanting the best for you. I dislike the way Cardi B sounds, the way she talks, the way she called women weak. Like she's like, I'm not a weak woman. I'm gonna have that baby and I'm gonna go on tour. That's not a woman. A mother who takes care of her child and her body after she gives birth is not weak. That's a mother who understands the sacredness of giving birth and giving that child what it needs. And also her body. Your body needs to heal, God knows what can happen when you have a baby. You know what I mean? So I was really, she's not my cup of tea, trust. But when I saw that video of her with Gayle King, who looks whiter every day, by the way. I don't know what the fuck's going on with her. Everybody wants to be Beyonce. But, as I say with this hair. But, what I'm saying is that, I just thought it was really weird. She doesn't sound very educated. And when I mean by educated, I don't necessarily mean you have to go to some great university. I mean just self-educated and wise and a good person. She just sounds really ignorant and like a hood rat. And I don't think the people that watch my videos are hood rats. And people that want to keep promoting trauma in families. You know what I'm saying? Because when you've got different daddies in your life, and you got different children from different daddies, when you bring another man into that, you don't know. Some men hate other people's children. They may act like they like them. Some of them don't. And all I'm trying to say, and I'm not just trying to pick on her, but she brought it out. There's so many women who they're so desperate for a man that they're having sex with some guy here, and then and he dumps them, and they're looking for validation, so they mess around with another guy. They might get pregnant, they might have the baby, and then that guy dumps them, and then they find another guy, and then they bring that guy in the house, and God knows what can happen. My grandmother used to say to me when I asked her, how come you never remarried after her grandfather died? She's like, I didn't want some man touching my babies, and she was smart enough to realize that shit. These women don't talk like that. You're Cardi B and I don't even want to bring up that horse's name, but they don't talk like that. You've got to be a bigger person to protect your family and to protect yourself. Don't be fucking around with these randos, all right? So anyway, as I sweat to death, that's enough. I will talk to you ladies and gents later. But if you want to know more about love, I think, I've always wanted to do videos about love and stuff because I think I'm a great example. Because the funny thing is, you can be a very deep person and a loving person and not being in a relationship if it's not right for you. I have men who like they'll know like a friend of them likes me, and then they try to push the guy that likes me on me. And even though I'm saying in a nice way, I'm not interested, they still think it's funny. And the other thing that blows my mind about men is that it's like, they don't care if you're attracted to them or not, if they want you. I remember seeing it in a movie with Tony Curtis, like, it was really weird, the scene where it was like a Greek movie, like a Roman movie, Greek movie, historic type of thing, and he kidnapped some beautiful woman that was married to some other man, and he was like, but I love you, and she's like, but I don't love you. Like, he was trying to force himself on her. And there's so many men that think like that. They don't realize it. They're closer to rapists than they are a man that a woman can love. But I think through history, a lot of men, they don't care if you love them or not. They just want to fuck you. And that's not the kind of man that I want to be with. So, please, if you're a man, don't be listening to those bullshit, abusive Andrew Tate assholes out there. That Andrew Tate seems really gay to me. Like, he's really down low because he's not a man that loves women. He's an abuser. He gets off to abusing women. He's very insecure. He doesn't love women. And I hate men that are always showing their dominance. They're forcing, say, look at me, I'm so strong. See how I treat women? I treat them like shit. Ha ha ha, I'm a man. No, you're a fucking punk ass. You're not a man that loves woman. A man that loves a woman is so powerful. Like, I'll just say this, because when I look at Val, if you guys don't know Dancing with the Stars, Val, Chermakovsky, and Jenna, I think, wow, I want a relationship with like that on the surface, because I don't know, everything about them. I've been shooting the show for a long time, but Jenna is an amazing dancer. She's gorgeous. She's sweet. She's got a great body. Val is a great dancer. He's a fucking violinist. He's hot. He dresses well. They have a son. Those two people, they complement each other. They're more powerful and happy together. They say the sweetest things. I'll say to him, hey, Val, how come you look so happy and you look so young? He's like, it's my wife. And then I tell Jenna what he says, and she's like, oh, my sweet boy. That's the kind of love I want. I don't want some bullshit. So I hope the best for you. Real love makes you better. Having someone who really cares about your best interest makes you great, but don't abuse that privilege. It's a privilege. But it's also okay if you don't find someone that gives you what your needs are, and you don't want to settle. That's okay too. You make your life full, you work on yourself, and what's going to happen is going to happen. And I know I said I was going to end the video before, but I didn't. But I'm going to do it now. So take care. Leave comments down below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like. And have a great day. Bye.